Good morning, everyone. I am getting ready to make cream puffs. I am going to use the classic cream puff recipe in a Betty Crocker cookbook. My mother-in-law, God rest her soul, used to make cream puffs a couple times a year. My husband loves them. Jane even made them for me a couple times, and they were awesome. And they're actually don't take many ingredients. Like the dough is all it is: 1 cup water, 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of flour, and 4 eggs. I've never done this before, so this is all new to me, but it seems pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna heat the water and the margarine to a rolling boil, and then once it's boiling, stir in the flour and reduce the heat, and stir over low heat for about 1 minute until it forms a ball. And remove from the heat, and then beat in all the eggs until the dough is smooth. So I've never made dough where I've had to heat it up, so this is new, but you know what, it seems pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna get it started, and it's only 4 ingredients: eggs, butter, flour, and water, which most dough is pretty straightforward. All right, as my butter and water is melting, I have my eggs and flour ready to the side because I know it's going to move pretty quickly once this starts boiling. And the recipe also called to preheat your oven to 400 while this is getting done, because the dough will be baked at 400 in the oven. All right, I did the steps and the recipe for the dough. It is I don't know if it's gonna work. What is the word? It's not like firm, but I just don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to jinx it. I followed the recipe exactly. So this is the dough. It's just still a little warm. And it says the next step is to drop dough by 1/4 cupfuls, about 3 inches apart. And this makes, all right, monkey, that's, all right, do you want a cream puff? Is that what's going on? No? All right. Anyway, it makes 12 cream puffs, so I got 2 cookie sheets to 6 per cookie sheet. All right, so here the recipe says that it should make 12 cream puffs. We have 10. Our cream puffs might be a little bigger, and that's why we only have 10. But they look good. This is just a little harder because Robert was a kid when he helped his mom, and we're not, he doesn't remember it exactly, but he thinks it's looking good. So we're putting them in the oven 35 to 40 minutes. I just pulled the puffs out at 35 minutes. The recipe said 35 to 40. Kind of wish I would have pulled them out a couple minutes earlier. They're definitely golden brown. They have puffed up amazingly, but oh, okay, they're not completely hard. That one's still soft. I was afraid they were a little too hard, but once you get the cream in them, I'm sure they're gonna be great. I just am very happy with how good they look, like how they puffed out. I was worried they were gonna be flat. So the dough wasn't really as hard as I was making it out to be. It was pretty easy. I just didn't know what to expect. Now that I know that's what the dough is supposed to look like, these look great. So if you're making these at home, I would just say at the last 5 minutes, watch them closely, because it just depends on how hot your oven gets. And yeah, I wish I would have taken them out a couple minutes early, but they still look pretty darn good. So I'm gonna pull them off the tray, put them on this cooling rack over here, and I'm gonna let them cool, and then like in about an hour, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna actually make the whipped cream filling. I'm not buying any. I mean, I bought the ingredients to make it myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna whip the milk into whipped cream. That's how his mom did it, and so that's what we are gonna do. To make our own whipped cream, we're just doing the sweetened whipped cream version. For 1 cup whipped cream, beat 1/2 cup whipping heavy cream and 1 tablespoon powdered sugar in a chilled bowl until stiff. So I will be using my KitchenAid, and I did put the bowl in the refrigerator last night so it can be nice and cool. And I did order a new attachment, a whipping attachment, so I could make my own whipped cream, because I know trying to hand whip it is not gonna work. And Robert remembers his mom using her KitchenAid too, so I think that is normal. And we have 10 cream puffs. Is 1 cup enough, or are we gonna do 2 cups? Not for sure. Anyway, I'm going to do this and we'll see how it turns out. I am going to do this recipe for 2.5 cups whipped cream. Use 1 cup whipping cream and 3 tablespoons powdered sugar. So this is the heavy whipping cream. This is 1 pint, which equals 2 cups. So half of this, and then I'm using powdered sugar instead of granulated sugar, and this is 3 tablespoons. Let me get my bowl out of the refrigerator. All right, I just poured my 1 cup of heavy whipping cream in my chilled bowl. Add the 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Now I am going to, oh my God, I don't know if this is gonna work because it's touching the base. Oh, this might not work. This whisking might be too big for it. Well, all we can do is try and see what happens. Is it gonna scrape the bottom? No? All right. Maybe it'll work. Maybe I should mix it. And mix it first. Ugh, I don't know what to do. Not enough in this bowl. I guess people usually make more than 2.5 cups. All right, hold on. All right, I'm hand whisking it. I don't know if this is gonna work. I really thought I would be able to use my KitchenAid, but when I'm only doing 1 cup, I guess it's not deep enough. All right, that hand mixing was not working. So I added the other cup, the rest of the container, and 3 more tablespoons of powdered sugar. And let's see if this works. It is starting to look a little more fluffy and whiter. I did Google it real quick. It takes 7 to 10 minutes for it at medium speed. So I'm just impatient. And you kind of have to watch it because if you overbeat it, it will turn to butter. Oh yeah, I definitely think it's starting to look more fluffy. I'm just an impatient girl. You gotta be patient with this whipped cream. So yeah, 7 to 10 minutes, medium speed, which I'm using the 4, which is actually less than medium, but it's my first time. I just want to watch it, see what happens. Some people do it on high speed and it just takes less time, but I'm doing medium. Oh yeah, it's definitely starting to look fluffy now. While that is still whipping, I am gonna also do the chocolate frosting, which is 1 ounce unsweetened chocolate, 1 teaspoon butter, 1 cup powdered sugar, 1 to 2 tablespoons hot water. You heat chocolate and butter in saucepan over low heat until melted. Remove from heat, stir in powdered sugar and hot water. Beat until smooth. Robert's mother would make this and then she would like drizzle it over the cream puffs over the top of them with powdered sugar. That's how she did it. So I'm gonna do it exactly like she did it. So I'm gonna make a quick chocolate frosting, and I'm unsweetened chocolate. Just use your Hershey's cocoa powder. So I have to Google it real quick what 1 ounce is. So hold on 1 second. 1 ounce equals 6 teaspoons. So we will use 6 teaspoons of this cocoa powder. Oh, look at that. It is definitely starting to look like whipped cream. Robert, come tell me if you think this is whipped enough. I was really getting worried, but it actually works. It really does look like whipped cream. You think this is enough? So I think they said you turn it off and then flip it up. And then maybe a little longer.
Yeah, a little
Does
longer.
that? It doesn't
Stick
look
your
like.
finger in it.
You stick your finger in it.
Stick your finger in it. Is it still wet? You know what I mean?
Let's do it. Let's do it one more minute. I don't think that stiff peaks enough.
So what we learn is to do it. Butter. Turn to butter.
We're not going to turn it to butter. This is one where you definitely want to have a timer, but since I was confused in the beginning, I wasn't paying attention to the time. So definitely wish I would have been paying more attention to the time. All right, I think I'm gonna stop. I don't want it to get any, I don't know. Let's see what it looks like. I gotta remember it's not gonna be completely smooth because I added the powdered sugar, which the basic whipping cream, you don't add powdered sugar, but Betty Crocker said to add powdered sugar. That's what I did. Let me do a taste test. Oh yeah, I like that consistency. All right, I think it's done. All right, we got the icing at the consistency we like. What it didn't mention, the Betty Crocker recipe did not mention to melt the butter first. So melt the butter first, add the hot cocoa powder, then add the water and white sugar, powdered sugar. My husband's says it's common sense. So the people like me who don't have common sense, melt the butter first. All right, so take a bread knife and cut off the top of the cream puffs.
Top 1/3.
Top 1/3. I'm sorry, these are puffs.
We need to have a pan out or something.
Do you want the cutting board?
Yes.
All right.
I want the big board.
Do you want the big wooden one?
Yeah, the one that's cracked.
Oh, it gets a lot of use. We're gonna have to buy a new one, but we use it a lot.
Okay, so I think that's the top 1/3. Look at that.
And then it said something, scoop out, because you want space to fill the cream filling.
Right.
And then I get you a big old. You want a spatula or a spoon
I don't need anything.
to put the whipped cream in?
Oh,
We'll just give you a big spoon.
just do a spoon.
Spoon in some whipped cream. I wasn't even focusing on you. I don't know what I was, sorry, I don't even know what I was looking at.
I don't know if you put it on.
I made plenty of whipped cream. Plenty of whipped cream. Be generous with the whipped cream.
I don't want to overdo it.
Yes, you do. These are cream puffs. They're
Supposed to be creamy?
Very creamy.
See, I did it sideways, so it's not going to look all this good, but
that looks good.
That looks pretty good, doesn't it?
All right.
Number one.
Pull another one out. And
that's a big one. Look at that. It's got two.
They puffed up so nice. I'm so happy. I just was skeptical. And they're like hollow on the inside. Doesn't really even have to pull any out.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit to.
That cat.
Let me taste it. Let me taste this. It's good. It's really, really good. I was worried because the dough didn't really have any.
Why don't you be the whipped cream person and I'll be the cutter person.
All right, you cut the and then I'll whip cream. The dough was just basic butter, eggs.
It's very weird.
It does taste a little eggy, but
look at that.
For having no additional flavoring, it tastes really good. All right, so I am glad I ended up using that whole pint of whipping cream because it was just enough whipped cream for the 10 puffs, and actually I feel like I didn't put enough in that one. Maybe I a little overdid it on the first couple. And so now next we'll sprinkle a little powdered sugar, and then we will sprinkle the chocolate on top, the chocolate icing. All right, Robert said forget the powdered sugar. That's not how his mom did it. That it says so in Betty Crocker, but we're gonna go by what his mom did. She just did the chocolate syrup. So really all I'm gonna do is take a spoon and drizzle it across. Okay, so I drizzled the icing on it first, so you can see a couple drizzle marks. But then we made a lot of icing, so the drizzle turned into like
A river.
paint splatters of chocolate icing. But you can never have too much chocolate.
It's rivers of chocolate.
It's little rivers, little mountains of chocolate. So they may not look French bakery front window worthy, but I know they're gonna be delicious.
I'd buy that.
I would buy
Maybe
this
not in
too.
that container, but I'm saying.
Not in this
Like
container.
if they were out of the container.
Yeah. This one looks, I want this one right here. Look at how much whipped cream that's in that one. Let me take a picture. All right, chocolate cream puff. I'm gonna do a taste test now. I said earlier on my Insta story that I was gonna give some to my sister because I didn't know that I could eat all 10. But I'm rethinking that. I'm pretty sure I could eat all 10 of these. All right, time to taste test the cream puffs. First time I've made them personally. Like I mentioned earlier, my mother-in-law has made them and they were delicious. So let's see. Robert, you need to test one too to see if it's as good as your mom's. I don't know how to eat this.
It's gonna be sloppy.
Oh my God, it's
Look,
already,
your top's coming off.
my top's coming off. I feel like a McDonald's worker, an uncentered hamburger.
It is.
I was worried that I overcooked the puff,
Perfect.
but I didn't. It tastes so good.
Oh my God, it's delicious.
And that icing? Oh my God, it's so messy. But it's so good. I don't want to give any to Holly anymore. Look at that. I'm making a mess. So these are a messy dessert. But it really wasn't that hard to make. I made it harder than it really was because it's my first time, but it really wasn't that hard. Robert just got some. You don't want to walk behind me, you're gonna be on camera. He just got it all over his face. I would definitely make this again. And I would definitely make the whipped cream again. The whipped cream, I think making the whipped cream was the hardest part. You know what I mean, honey?
It is.
Because you just,
This is
you're afraid to over whip it.
right. I always get to the point. I've never whipped it to butter, but I always think
I wish my husband would let me show you him. His face.
it's a certain thing.
Your nose. His face is completely covered in whipped cream.
Oh, look at you! You look like you're eating a whipped cream sandwich. I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator.
But here, there's the lid is underneath that cookbook.
All right. That's delicious.
Oh my God.
My mom would have been proud of what you did.
I hope so. It would have been a lot better if she was here today, but unfortunately she's in heaven. Oh. I definitely could have used her advice because I was freaking out about the whipped cream, but it worked out.
You did good.
She would have been like, just be patient. Just be patient. I'm not a patient person. I'm gonna start making these for those, I was gonna say all the parties. The one time a year I go to a party.
You could technically make them smaller too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
More. You know, so it's not like a sandwich.
This is so good. As I was eating the whole thing.
The icing sticks to them really well too.
It does. This icing is like chocolate donut glaze.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna make my own donuts and use this icing recipe.
I told you would love it.
But everyone needs to get, everyone who likes to bake or cook needs to just get a classic Betty Crocker cookbook. That is just classic recipes and they work. This works. Anyone can do this. It's not as hard as I made it seem. I definitely recommend it.
Holy smokes.
But don't wear any of your favorite outfits when you're eating this. This is messy. It's like, I love donuts. Oh my god. I got it on the shirt.
Yeah.
And it's better than donuts. This is better than donuts.
I think it's less sweet. The dough itself is less sweet than like what donut dough is, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes less sweet to me. So that it works.
And it's not fried, so that makes it healthy, right?
It is.
And there was milk in it, so that makes it healthy, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, you don't have to watch me lick the rest of the plate clean. But thanks for watching. And I highly recommend trying to make your own cream puffs. It's a lot of fun.